Hit record. Yo, chill. Alright. We should be good. Alright, so we are recording for YouTube, sorry. But we are underway without further ado. CPL 2v2 playoffs is here. And we're in the Challenger Division, C2-C3. But this is playoffs round 2. If you missed previous week, both these teams trying to advance to the next stage. But Caleb getting a flipper set, not gonna find an opening. And that might be going all the way back. Caleb can only watch. And long goal, simple yet effective. And just being the challenge. SP Tempest Kingdom on the board to strike first. But once again, we'll talk about playoffs. It's best of 7. You get a timeout as well, but a lot of Rocket League to correct things. Now Sizzle gonna head back. It's quite a touch, keeping it away, and Chaotic booms it up. Caleb can now collect, but that recovery quick. And is that gonna fall through? No, it just hits the side crossbar. But nice demo. Caleb a little bit awkward as he's continuing to apply pressure. And Spartan starting to ramp up things. But a big question is, can they turn pressure into points? And that one is a nice redirect. Caleb, a slight touch. Chaotic finding him, and we are tied up 1 apiece. Just making sure we're good to go. Feel free to let me know if any volumes need to be adjusted. I think we're good. But Sizzle could have command of that one. They have the numbers, and instead Chaotic might get a counter. What a save! Incredible effort keeping that one out. And SP Tempest Kingdom holding on for defense. Volume's good, thank you, Bell. Caleb, nice pop. And no one backboard. No touch backboard, really. And Chaotic gonna take full advantage. Spartan shots up 2-1. And Caleb might add another on the kickoff, but definitely something to look out for, those challenges, the spacing. And right now SP Tempest are playing a little bit side by side. Chaotic with the challenge. Milkshake Man trying to turn this one around. Good control. Almost getting a goal there. And they're down by 2. Obviously trying to turn this one around. And that's a touch just wide. They have made some incredible touches when they needed. But yet the pressure still stands. And that is going all the way. And they've had some incredible counters, long goals, and certainly is a case in point. Defense versus offense, who will prevail? And if Spartan Chalks aren't careful with how they approach the offense, they could be countered time and time again. minute 40 to go. 1 score difference. Chaotic can't do much there, and you see the spacing there. They're being countered again, like we talked about, and SP Tempest Kingdom really making the most of these opportunities. But if you ever see a twos game, you see a player in the corner, you see a player in the net, that's going to be a long recovery, and you kind of have to take note of where your teammate is for that very reason. Chaotic given some time. Nice pop. That's gonna bounce in. And Caleb is actually the one there who's getting the pop. Sorry if I said chaotic, but that left side we see Caleb very comfortable with. And of course you don't want to give him the chance to get those pops, go in the air, control it. He's shown he can do some damage, and someone who can also do some damage. Chaotic, good positioning, lets his card do most of the work, and gets a nice pop just going in. Sizzle moves it forward, and now Milkshake Man trying to force. 30 seconds remaining. They need a goal quickly, and unfortunately we might have a disconnect, and SP Tempest, they gotta take full advantage, and we could have an interesting setup here if Chaotic can't resume. It's a 1v2. Play continues on. Alright, Caleb, he's been trained in this. Can he hold out? That's a touchback. He might have had an open net. And instead, now he's got 10 seconds. He's got a team chasing. They're aggressive. 5 seconds now. Sizzle, nice bounce. He's gonna have to make a last defensive effort. Although they had the numbers, maybe a demo would be good. But Spartan chalked. Hang on. As it goes toward the end, and they win game 1, but we're gonna have to see what happens with Chaotic. Alright, so yeah, in CPL, you got 5 minutes in between. If someone has internet issues, disconnect to find a way to rejoin. If not, you need a sub, and if not, then you're in trouble. So, oh my god, your parents unplugged the internet by accident. Not even a cat doing it. That's wild. Oh, it's better than the alternative. Alright, we got a player 5 though. We need to figure out who's player 5. Thank you so much for the raid, Cole. Sorry. How to type. Let's give Cole his due. Make sure to follow if you're not following already. Another fellow caster. Thank you so much for the raid. And they're here for some playoff action. Alright, what do we miss? No spectators anyway, so it is what it is. Alright, we're back. Back in action. So, if you're just tuning in, which some of you are, although we have a goal immediately. Can't even let words out as SP Tempest Kingdom. Strong start, exactly what they want, being down in the series. But as you're tuning in, especially new Raiders, game one, we had a little disconnect toward the end, but play continues. And Caleb had a 1v2, hold on, and that's what he did. Just barely down by, or up by one, and the last second, and Chaotic had to fix internet issues. But what a demo, what a score, and I like what I'm seeing out of SP Tempest Kingdom. Coming out hot, coming out strong. It's exactly the way you want game two to start. Set the tempo and really assert dominance. And Caleb, a nice goal from him, much needed, as Spartan Chalk's clearly trying to get back into the swing of things. They had a little bit of awkwardness with the disconnect, getting back into the flow of things, and SP Tempest certainly not making it easy for them. But we also get to see new player sub in, a Pat Dap. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna say that 10 times fast, but certainly having a strong start in his substitution. And Caleb, a little bit awkward. That almost worked so well. While you're looking up in the air, waiting for something to happen, that second player comes to sneak through and put a shot on target. Chaotic trying to go high with the bump, and Caleb gonna be snuffed out, and Chaotic happy to see that one roll to the wall. And that's been something that plagued Spartan Chalk in the first one. That second man offensive shooting, gotta be careful. If you don't get a good shot, then that counter could be coming through. So they are very fortunate that lead doesn't jump up by 2 for SP. But Sizzle to the air, strong touch, but it gets a little bit away. Chaotic able to challenge. And we're getting closer to halftime. 1 score difference, as both these games being very close. Now Chaotic trying to bring it to the corner, being challenged. Gets the boost, but that one gets away from him. Wants it back. And Dap, he's there and able to capitalize on that miscue. And quick with it. Now back to a 2-goal lead. SP doing a good job here, wanting to tie up the series, although Caleb gets an extra touch off the double, almost saved, but a little bit of help there on that touch. Nice control in the air, and able to keep that lead back to 1 without much time spanning. Caleb tracking down, that's a miscue, but we've seen him get those soft touches, not what you want in that moment. And might be an opening. Sizzle finds it behind the defense. Nice shot, and Nice little setup as well from Doubt. Getting it around, getting a little time for his teammate, put the shot through. But Demo and adds another, and really putting up a scoreline. Really being a problem. And Spartan Chalked definitely seem to have their hands filled and have a lot to think about. But still got a minute 39 in this one. Certainly a few quick goals will help, but is it too little too late? That's off the wall. Might be an opening there, and hits the crossbar, but tough angle. And Caleb can't do much with that one, and Chaotic wish he knew the results on that. He could have stayed in the play, but how can you know? And that one's gonna be blasted. Good challenge from Chaotic, and he should have one there. And good to see them ramp up the speed, but still down by 2 as we are under a minute. And Spartan Chalk looking for a little magic. Meanwhile, SP trying to hold on to that 2-goal lead. They certainly need this win, or at least could use it to tie up the series. Don't want to go down 2. What? Caleb bouncing around, almost out, and gonna be credited. And they get some goals without too much time. They definitely have a shot. 30 seconds. Could be 1 or 2 chances. And there is a chance, and quick. I've barely finished my words. Wow. Spartan Chalked pouring on the offense. And now you gotta wonder, SP Tempest, can they recover? They commanded much of this game. Now they see their lead slip a little bit, but still a chance to recover from it. I just need 1 goal, perhaps before OT. And certainly we're watching Dap as he's put forth quite the offense, and he's gonna get a chance here in OT. Boost to the air, but Caleb with the challenge, and Chaotic a little bit bumped, and that's gonna fall in front of net. Very unfortunate. Caleb had very little boost, and it all falls back to that little bump as Chaotic is going to the air, and they reclaim the lead and take the victory. SP tie up the series, and we definitely got a series on our hands. But game 3 is here. A big game at that. Both teams get a win under their belt. But who asserts dominance? And Dap doing what he does. Quick score to start the game. And that's been big for SP. Now, Sizzle getting a good approach, but being stopped. Chaotic trying the 50. Gonna wait, and this is do or die moment, and he does. Chaotic just slightly beaten, and those are always so interesting in the 2s, those moments. Battle of inches. Who prevails? It's either a goal on offense or a goal coming from defense. Tied 1 apiece. Chaotic inching forward, and Caleb gonna be beat out there. Actually could have waited, but big 50 going back, and now, yep, gonna get some boost. Should be able to land on that and showing mechanical skills. And Chaotic wisely waiting there. Wasn't sure there'd be another, but right idea from Caleb, going for the bump. And Chaotic just absorbing the 50, turning around, and he's been doing a good job staying behind the ball, definitely making things difficult. Now Caleb to the air, he wants that one back. Now Chaotic low on boost, venturing. We could see a pass, and pass indeed. Sizzle waiting, and goes back to Caleb, kind of undercutting. He's facing a little bit awkward toward the net. That allows an opening, and shot coming through. A nice pass as well. Caleb by 1. Chaotic trying to boom it quick, trying to get a goal there. Quick, sneaky one. A little miscue from SP, although Sizzle staying with it, absorbing, venturing back, and now he might have a pop, can do some damage. Caleb definitely doesn't want that to fall in front of net like the previous one. Sizzle gets a nice pop. That one separates a little bit though. Now Dap has to venture back on defense, but hangs on. Chaotic quick on the challenge from the corner, and Caleb's gonna jump in, but they're a little bit wide apart. Can SP take advantage? But Caleb a slight touch, and just happy to be patient. And you can see both teams locked in, kind of playing careful. They know how big the next goal is. Could come down to a mistake. And Chaotic, good job challenging as that lane was open. He's been challenging quick on the left side. There's another. Caleb might have to do it himself, and he does. A nice bounce to himself, and he's been hitting those doubles nicely. Definitely something you have to contend with. And Spartan Chalk take the lead. Although SP, do they have it in them to tie it? Almost through. Almost wasting very little time to do so. But big challenge. Caleb absorbing, and team pinch at the midfield, working well as Caleb used a lot of boost trying to get it out, and Chaotic in the right spot, waiting at the midfield, and they might add a kickoff goal. And they do. It almost ended up not being. That demo kind of slowing things down. But all this game is kind of turning around, or turning around quickly. Spartan Chalk's getting a few goals, one after another, and that's sometimes how it goes, how quickly the tides have turned. And now SP down by 3. Definitely didn't see themselves here in this spot, and more momentum shifting towards Spartan Chalks. And SP now have a new side of the story to look at. They very likely will be down 2-1 in the series, but I mean, they've been playing good. They did tie up the series. They played a good first half of this one. Let's not forget it was tied 2 apiece. A far different game than what we're looking at now. And how did they get back to that? Yeah, we can't go next for this, unfortunately. Don't want the replays to be messed up. That's wild. Chill and then put a shot on. All right, that is game 3. So we're going to Sovereign Heights, game 4. All right, game 4 is upon us. SP trying to tie it up again in the series, and they've had strong starts. Will it happen again? And almost finding the angle. Sizzle's there, but that one is falling through. Unfortunate touch on the save. Caleb hunting and able to get the first goal. Spartan shots up by 1 and carrying that momentum. Sorry, had to sneeze. But we're back. And now Chaotic bringing it down. Caleb might have had a chance there. A little bit off. Can't get the pop, and almost gets a demo coming back. Certainly would have changed counter. But a minute passed. And can SP collect themselves? They had an unfortunate showing previous game. Looking to get back some of that magic. And we haven't seen them be as aggressive, but those demos definitely helping there. And that certainly will help get them back to how they were playing. And almost sneaking one on a redirect. Sizzle is going to be denied. Chaotic. He's 50 and they're trying to bolster that lead up by 1. Certainly not a comfortable lead. Here comes SP Tempest Kingdom. Another good challenge from Chaotic. And bouncing around, running out of room. He's able to survive. Get that one out. Caleb almost giving that away, but it almost worked as Chaotic blasts one on target. A big bump, not giving him the chance. And Chaotic might have an open net. He does. And a little tactical play there. Chaotic quick on the approach. And we're close to halftime. Spartan chalked 2-goal lead. Caleb pushing that one down. Sizzle gonna be deleted, and that's a possible opening. Just a little too wide, but you love to see those kind of plays. Clearing the net, but Dap on the counter. Little bar in. And an extra touch right there. Catching Caleb a little off guard, and that's a huge goal. SP cutting the lead by 1. Now they just have to get another. They have 2 minutes to go. And if Spartan Chalked aren't careful, make any mistakes, that certainly can mean a tie game. Chaotic to the air. Might have another. Forces 2 on the challenge. Caleb, gotta be careful. Does get a big 50. And a little bit of a miscue instead. Possession possibly given up. Chaotic definitely doesn't want that bounce. And very scary for them. Almost giving up that lead. Like we said, a mistake could come through if they're not careful. Caleb moving it down. Dap. But the touch, Chaotic wide. Caleb trying to put it through. Chaotic, slight touch to Caleb. And can he turn this one around? Sizzle is there. 45 seconds to go. Demo traded. Making things interesting. Sizzle trying to move it down. And that one is possibly on. Chaotic definitely not expecting it, but Caleb cleaning up there. And yeah, certainly not ready for that one. Caleb using a nice angle.
This is chalked.
And there you go. He asked for it, or just stated it, but this is chalked, especially when that bounces around. But like we said, Chaotic was waiting there. He wasn't expecting a miss. And luckily he had Caleb to follow through, but 2-goal lead, Spartan chalked, series point, and he's really just doing it for the memes at this point.
This is chalked.
But 3-1 on that, and it's 3-1 in the series. Where are we going? Aquadome? I think so. A lot of clicking to be had. All right. Timeout has been called. So with that, we have what is it? 1 minute. All right, so we gotta get the timer out real quick. Whoops, ignore that. Alright, we got 60 seconds going right now. So, that is underway. Timeout called, and SP using it. Alright, and they're gonna ignore it. But, that's fine. If they want to jump in, that's... Okay. Alright, they might as well take full advantage, but yeah, I mean, technically, if they call the timeout and then they they want to cut it short, I mean, they're the one that called timeout. But the other team definitely can't do it. So, anyways, it's time. Alright, we gotta shut that thing up. Alright. They're trying for some things. My cat. Just get in there. Alright. You love those moments for Rocket League. But game 5 this year, Spartan chalked up 3-1 series point, trying to cap it off, but it's not all said and done. SP Tempest Kingdom have shown some good signs of play. They've also taken a victory, but can they get back to that? And that's certainly not the way. Caleb adds a goal, and so big and key for SP. Can they not give up possession? They're gonna have to tidy up. They can't afford any more losses, so have to put it together, and that's almost put in. Sizzle, what an effort. I saw possible dunk into the net, but gonna be denied. And that's a blast to the side, although Caleb venturing back to get boost. But there we go again. Possession given up. Caleb trying to take advantage. But slight touch. Chaotic is there. Probably wants that touch back. But so far, it's just a battle of possession. We're seeing both teams give up possession, and what does it equal? It equals a goal. So we are tied up. Now, Chaotic blasting, no one on back board. But not going to result in anything there. They're able to clean up, no follow through. Chaotic, quick on the draw, and sometimes, you know, you see that, you're expecting a stronger touch, but if you can't quite get under it. Now, Chaotic being chased around, trying to buy some time, and that's almost on. Caleb surely thought so, but it is good if you can use those numbers to your advantage. Although too much time eclipses, your moment passes. Chaotic with a pop, but Gap ready for that one. Caleb trying to cut through, and there's a lot of chances here for some demo plays if you play it right. But there's that 2v1 advantage. Caleb there, and adding another. So far, good spacing for Spartan Chalks that has led to them being up by 1. But almost at halftime, SP have to bring it. What do they have in the tank? And a lot of these games have been close, but Chaotic, nice strong touch, using an initial bounce and kind of pausing the defense when you do that. Sizzle, and that is it. We paused for a moment. That was a very strong shot. Almost thought it was bouncing out. And a little bit of favor there, as SP needed that one to stay in this. And back to a 1-score difference. Caleb to the air. Chaotic continuing the challenge. Might have a bump there. And he does. And we can see it forming. And it works out perfect. Doesn't need too strong of a shot. Two to 4. And time is starting to get down to the point of no return. That's also, we haven't seen SP able to get those demos, those bumps that we've seen, and there's a bump as it was requested no more. You know that's gotta be inside their head. And Caleb just moving around the defense nicely. By 1. He's actually given the space so he could go again. And no boost. Doesn't matter. Spartan chalked 5-2 in a great spot to seal this series. Is there any magic left for SP? And not enough boost on that one. Sizzle heading back. Gets a touch. Now we're staring at the wall. Oh, a big beat. Tap. Waiting midfield. Being blessed with that 50. And 5-3. We can't say that is impossible. 36 seconds, maybe kickoff goal, maybe a goal in these next 10 seconds. Certainly is possible. Kind of seen it from Chalked coming down by 3 in a previous game. But that's a 50 out. Sizzle, can he get one of those long goals? And that's gonna fall just shy. As 5 seconds left. I'm gonna put it through. And 6-3. And we did not see that one coming. But big credit to Spartan Chalked. They are going to take the victory. Alright. Well, we'll just say GG's. And so yeah, give it up for Spartan Chalked taking the victory. Congrats to them. They are moving forward to the next round. I appreciate the love. Thank you, Caleb. And so that is gonna do it for this. We're gonna put up the VOD on YouTube for the recording. And so also would like to thank anybody who tuned in. If you lurked, followed, represented, of course, always appreciated. So we will call it for this one. Hopefully see you on the next one, but thank you so much, and what a game indeed.